morning, guys. Here are the solutions to 1 through 19 odd from last night's homework. The first one we have is 9 to the 1/2 power. That means the square root of 9 to the first. I told you guys, evaluate the root first. Square root of 9 is 3 to the first. 3 to the first is 3. That's the answer to number 1. Number 2, 81 to the 1/2 power. That means the square root of 81 to the first. Evaluate the root first. Square root of 81 is 9. Then raise that to the first. 9 to the first is 9. That's actually the answer to number 3. Number 5, 16 to the 3/2. That means the square root of 16 to the third. So we do the square root of 16 first, which is 4. So now I have 4 to the third. 4 to the third is 64. That's the answer to number 5. 7, 9, and 11. Seven is 10,000 to the 3/4. 9 is 343 to the 2/3. 11 is 36 to the 1/2. 10,000 to the 3/4 means the 4th root of 10,000 to the third. The 4th root of 10,000 is 10, because 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 is 10,000. So this is now 10 to the third, and 10 to the third is 1,000. That's the answer to 7. Number 9, 343 to the 2/3 power means the cube root of 343 to the second. Now the cube root of 343 is not something you're familiar with, so you might have had to try out a bunch of different numbers. The number that works there is 7, because 7 times 7 times 7 is 343. So now you have 7 to the second, which makes 49. The answer to 9 is 49. Number 11, 36 to the 1/2 power means the square root of 36 to the first. Evaluating the root first, the square root of 36 is 6 to the first, and 6 to the first is 6. Next, I'll put up 13, 15, and 17. Thirteen is 64 to the 1/6. 15 is 64 to the 3/2. 17 is 9 to the negative 1/2. 64 to the 1/6 means the 6th root of 64 to the first power. Evaluating the root, the 6th root of 64 is 2, because if you multiply 2 6 times to itself, you get 64. So this is now 2 to the first. 2 to the first is 2. 64 to the 3/2 means the square root of 64 to the third. Evaluating the root first, the square root of 64 is 8. So now we have 8 to the third. 8 to the third is 8 times 8 times 8. That ends up to be 64 times 8. 32. Carry the 3. 48 plus 3 is 51. So the answer to 15 is 512. 17, 9 to the negative 1/2 means the square root of 9 to the negative first. square root of 9 is 3 to the negative first. The negative first power just tells you to relocate the 3. So the answer to this question is 1 over 3. That's 17. Last one, 19. 19 is 100 to the 3 halves. That means the square root of 100 to the third. The square root of 100 is 10. Let me do that first. So we have 10 to the third, and 10 to the third is 1,000. That is the final answer to 19.